Hi, tired of making good enough be good enough? You know, you look at your life and it's a good life. You got a good life. You know, if you're in this group, you've got a good life. Yet there are elements about it that you know could be so much more. And you've been working at it and you've been wondering how to really break free and maybe even considering, well, maybe I just need to be happy where I am. But you just feel stuck. You know, it's a good stuck, but stuck is stuck. And so, what do you do in that situation? Do you just be happy with what you got? Or do you make a decision to go for what's seeking expression through you to create a life that you absolutely love because that's how you were created to live? My name is Felicia Searcy, your Dream Life Activator. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. And in this live, I want to help you understand what goes on when you get stuck and how to get unstuck. You know, again, good stuck is stuck, and stuck stinks. Stuck stinks. So stick around because I have an invitation for you afterwards if this is resonating with you so we can really keep you going. So you are an amazing being. It's breathtaking how fabulous you are. You know that on some level. Yet there's still elements about your life that you just wish were more. And you maybe have been going for it full force or probably a little holding back a little bit, maybe even watering down your dream a little bit because you feel guilty for wanting more. But yet there's still something inside of you that's longing for a bigger, freer, more fuller expression. And you might even feel a little guilty for wanting this, for wanting more. You know, I struggled with this. I struggled with this for a long time. That I've been a student of spiritual law, universal law for decades. I found them at a really dark place in my life. I applied them. My life got really good. In fact, outside looking in, I wanted for nothing. My life got off the chart good. Yet there were still areas that I just longed to build out more. Now, when I work with people, I work with 4 areas. The area of your health, your relationships, your freedom on your calendar and in your checkbook, and your vocation, how you're sharing your gifts, your talents, your capabilities. You are in this group because you want to share your vocation. And there was one area, the 2 areas for me that were just really sticking points were the area of my vocation and my income. I wanted to grow both because I wanted to make a bigger impact in both. Give me a thumbs up if that's you. If you wanted to grow both because you want to make a bigger impact with both. And I poured my heart and soul into an initiative thinking this was going to be the thing to bust it wide open. Well, the thing about it is that it didn't. It didn't break it wide open. It landed the same way everything else in my life was landing. It landed in a place of good. It's good. You know, and anybody, there were lots of people who would have loved the results that I got. But I knew deep down that there was something so much bigger available. And I remember that day. And I remember how frustrated I felt, how inadequate and, questioned. I just questioned. I questioned whether or not I should be doing this. I questioned whether or not I deserved it. I questioned whether or not I had what it took to do it. Hey, Elisa, really good to see you talking about what to do when you just get in that stuck point. And I had all those conversations going on in my head. You know, who do you think you are? Maybe you're just not cut out for this. Maybe you just don't deserve this much good. You know, you've just got so much to lose. Why would you just continue to push the river? Why keep pushing the river and trying to make it happen? And I remember that day so clearly. And I just remember stopping in my tracks and saying, no, I've got this desire. I've got this dream. I know there's got to be a way for me to fulfill it. I can't have it without there being a way for me to fulfill it. So I just want you to tap in right now. Tap into you and that part in you that knows you're meant for so much more. What you've got is really good. What you've got is good. And deep down, you know you are meant for so much more. So I remember that day, and I remember that I made a decision. the kind that you don't back up from. And as a result of that decision, I poured my energy into unlocking this power that we've all got so I could unleash it to the life that I know I deserve to live, that you deserve to live. And as a result of this, I literally have discovered a paint-by-numbers spiritual success system that has allowed me to build out an amazing life. I now have the honor of serving the dreams of thousands of people around the world. My income has grown so deliciously to the level that my husband retired 7 years early. We give tens of thousands of dollars away to charities that are deeply meaningful to us. We live in a place that we love. I have amazing friendships and health. Every area of my life has improved as a result of what I'm sharing with you here today. But here's the thing I want you to hear. Those things are fabulous. You want the results in your life. You want those good results in your life. But the real gift that comes from staring down the stuck point, the real gift that comes from learning how to ask the most potent, powerful question that we could ask, which I'm going to tell you here in a second, is that you fundamentally transform. See, the purpose of that desire, the purpose of your dream, it's not to get things and just tick things off. Check, check, check. Accomplished, accomplished, accomplished. The purpose of your dream is to help you wake up to even more of your breathtaking, indescribable magnificence. It's not to get, it's to grow you. It's for who you become in the process. And this is what we're up to. All right, so what is the formula then for getting unstuck? Well, first of all, I want to ground this in a foundation. And here's the foundation with this. The foundation is that you are an unlimited being with unlimited capacity to create anything that you can think of. It's breathtaking how powerful. And what is this creative capacity? It's your thinking capacity. I love that quantum physics is now proving what spiritual masters have taught throughout the ages, that what you predominantly mentally rehearse in this faculty of your imagination and charge with your emotions has an energy to it. There's a vibration to it. Now, we've all heard this, but stay with me, because it's in the granular application where things really begin to change. So, you have these thoughts. These thoughts are generating sensations in your body in the forms of feelings. Those feelings are now sending out waves of energy into this invisible energy field. These waves of energy are vibrating, and they're pressing into this invisible energy field, where now this energy is organizing according to the predominant pattern of what your thoughts and feelings are. It's organizing around what you are predominantly thinking and feeling, which, by the way, is your beingness, and it's attracting those things that are like that to you. This is the basic explanation of the law of attraction, which is actually a secondary law. The real law is the law of vibration. Now, in this stuck point, as I'm getting ready to share with you the most potent, powerful question that you can ask, I want you to think about this for a second. Let's just pause, because what I want you to do is back up and just consider the power that gave you this ability to consciously generate images. We were so loved by a divine intelligence, by a divine power, that this divine intelligence looked out into the universe and realized that there was something missing. There was something missing. And in that acknowledgement that there was something missing, it looked at all the possibilities of what could fulfill that need. And it came up with you. And it thought, you, in the moment, you were a good idea. Now, just let that land for a moment, because this gets lost when people reduce what I'm talking about to mindset. When we want to reduce it down to just mindset, you lose the acknowledgement that something so profound created you and gave you this creative capacity. And this power thought that you were a good idea, that you needed to be here at this time, in this incarnation, brought you into this form. So just kind of sink into that for a moment. Because imagine if you really got that, how transformed your life would get. Imagine if you really understood the power that you wield at your fingertips, that you really had this capacity to consciously create anything that you could dream up. If you really got that, then you would dedicate, you would devote your life to learning how to ask and live from the most potent, powerful question that you can ask, which is, what would I love? What would I love? What would I love to do, be, have, give? What would I love? So I'm going to take a drink while you ponder that question. What would I love? You know, when we're talking about getting unstuck, a really key element, Bo is letting us know that there's people here. A really key element of learning how to get unstuck is, number one, recognizing, hey, Terry, really glad you're here. Really helping you understand the process of what is it to really get unstuck. Understand how powerful you are. And then number two, be very deliberate about what you apply that power to. And the deliberateness of applying that power is learning how to live from the question, what would I love? See, that question is not a selfish question. That question is being generated from the life force that animated you in the first place. Remember, you are this unlimited being with unlimited capacity to create. It's crazy how powerful you are. Right now, I want you, just put your hands right here on your heart and just breathe in and acknowledge, wow, I am one powerful being. I am an amazingly powerful woman. Just breathe that in right now. Just allow yourself to take that down to the very fiber of your being. Good, Terry, I hope this is serving you. As you work with the question, what would I love? You're tapping into this stream of intelligence that's seeking a richer, freer, fuller expression by means of you. You now become the conduit through which this life force energy expresses, and you working with that question is allowing that life force to wake up even more through you and by means of you. And you start developing and discovering skills and capabilities that have always been there, but you've never needed them. You've never needed to develop them. And you develop a much deeper sense of communion and companionship with the very power that created you. But here's what happens, and which is why so few people really understand how to access this power and use what I'm sharing with you to really get unstuck. Very few people understand how to really work with that question, what would I love? What happens is that the minute you start thinking something more expansively, see, there's a part of you that wants to go forward. That's your life force, seeking a richer, freer, fuller expression, Lauren, by means of you. There is a life force longing to express more through you. The minute you start dreaming something more expansively, the minute you start working with that question, what would I love? There's something that just jumps up. Good, Terry. There's something that just jumps up and wants to grab you and bring you right back down to the status quo. It's built into the design that the minute you start thinking more expansively, it's like, oh my gosh, what if I really could? You can feel it. You start getting excited. You start buzzing. And in that, there's like this breathlessness of can I, can't I, can I, can't I? I don't know. Maybe I can. I don't know. Looks pretty big. and those voices start watering down your desire, yes, Lauren, those voices start watering down your desire, which causes you then to get disappointed and feel defeated. It starts watering down your confidence and your belief, which slows your momentum down, slows your ability to take action down. And this is when, as you're slowing down and you're seeing the evidence of why it's not going to work, you start getting discouraged, disappointed, start doubting whether or not you can really do this, doubting whether or not you're really meant to do this, doubting whether or not you're being selfish, and this is when you get stuck. This is what stuck looks like. And stuck stinks. Stuck stinks. All right, so how do you get out of this point then? Well, so you're working with the question, what would I love? And what I want you to hear is that is not a lightweight question. That question requires so much courage, so much commitment, so much vulnerability. For you to really dig into that question, what would I love, means you got to go down beyond the voices that are talking and saying, it's never going to happen. Who do you think you are? Look, when you tried to do it before and it didn't work for you. You know, what is so-and-so going to think? You have to be willing to dig down past all of those voices and really tap into that stream of life force energy that's actually activating that desire and is bringing you the answer. Yes, Lauren. So keep going back. So one of the things that I talked about earlier in this is that you want to keep going back to the origin of your desire. And the origin of your desire is not you. It's life seeking more through you. It's life wanting you to wake up to a greater capacity of you. It wants you to learn how to capacitate more good. It wants you to wake up to more of your amazingness, to your brilliance. And the only way you're going to be willing to do that is, number one, if you feel the discontent enough to be willing to move forward, and if you give yourself permission to really listen deeply. What is it that brings you most alive? Now, you want to create images. You want to use this amazing faculty of your imagination and actually see those images. And you want to begin to build movies and work with those images. But you don't want to stop there. Yes, that's it, Terry. And that's that part of you that wants to fight and keep you right where you are. Now, here's the thing. You can't just visualize. You don't want to just visualize. What your next step is, and this is the mistake that people make, is that they stop at visualizing, and they think people will tell me, why visualize in the morning? Well, here's the thing. You're always visualizing something. You're either visualizing your dream life or you're visualizing your current life. And if you're visualizing your current life, then the only thing you can do is organize your life around your current life. The only thing you can do is entertain ideas of that match your current life, Terry, and then take actions that match your current life. So as you're playing in your vision and you're giving yourself permission to have a burning desire and put images to it, the next step that you want to do is to literally begin to put on the persona, the beingness of the woman who did this. You do what I call zip yourself into the skin of the woman who already did this. See, we will never outperform the way we see ourselves. You cannot go beyond. You cannot have beyond the way you see yourself. You will not allow a level of success, a level of good, a level of abundance that's beyond the way that you identify yourself. So you have this dream, and maybe you're visualizing. Let me take a drink of water here. You're visualizing, but you are not seeing yourself in it. You're not able to say, wow, I really see myself as the woman doing that. So the next step in this process of getting unstuck is that now you need to literally learn how to zip yourself into the skin of the woman who did this. You need to build a relationship with that woman before a single thing in your world changes. Now, when I work with people, we go so much more deeper into this. That this is, I'm giving you the highlights and giving you some things so hopefully that you can start working with today. But you've got your dream, and then you want to, that's it. Terry, that beautifully described. It's like you hit that set point, and then that gravitational pull back to the familiar starts pulling you back down. So the work is, and this is where the rigor comes in, is that not only are you seeing the image, but you are living in that image. You are literally zipping yourself into the skin of what's the woman who did this. You're predicting based on what's happened in the past, which is why, Terry, it is so important to have a vision to let it inform a new prediction. Here's how you zip yourself into the skin of the woman who did this. Number one, ask the question, if it all worked out, how would I feel? So right now, bring that image to mind of what you would love to create, let's say by the end of 2021. What would you love to achieve by the end of 2021? See that in your mind. See that in the faculty of your imagination right now. Now, I want you to ask, you're zipping into the skin of the woman who did this. If it all worked out, how would I feel? If it all worked out, how would you feel? You would feel grateful. You would feel fulfilled. You would feel amazing now. The beauty, I'm glad, Terry, because I just got off of my 3-day event and I'm like working the energy up here, and I'm glad that I was here for you. The beautiful thing about it is that you have the capacity to generate those feelings now. So right now, just close your eyes and generate gratitude. Just feel grateful. Just thank you. Thank you. Feel grateful. Feel abundant. Notice how you can actually cause yourself to generate a physiological sensation that we call feeling in the form of abundance. The woman who achieved her results from a higher state of awareness walks around feeling that way. You want to walk around feeling that way. And then the second question is, you are zipping yourself into the skin of the woman who did this. So the first one is, if it all worked out, how would I feel? The second one is, the woman who achieved these results that you're seeing in the faculty of your imagination before a single thing in your world changes, how does that woman watch this live right now? How does that woman make breakfast? How does that woman make a phone call? You're going to be somebody while you're doing those activities. You can't turn off a persona. The question is, are you going to be the woman who created your current results? Are you going to put on being the woman who created your desired results before anything in your world changed? The reason why this is so powerful is because it literally changes your brain chemistry. You literally think differently. You now have access to a whole nother level of creativity and a stream of intelligence that's always informing you. And you're able to hear ideas and see opportunities that have always been there. They're always here. There's nothing that needs to be added. You just don't have access to them, thinking from the place of same old, same old. So you're zipping yourself into the skin, you're imagining this life, you're playing with it in the realm of your imagination, you're asking, if it all worked out, how would I feel? If I really did this, how did I do this live? How did I listen? How did I make the phone call? How did I brush my teeth? Mundane, everyday things. What am I saying to myself when I look at myself in the mirror? As you do that, you are literally activating your higher levels of thinking, where now you have access to creativity, ingenuity, innovation, courage, boldness, and a deep sense of well-being as you're connected, that deep sense of communion and companionship with the very power that created you. In this state, so here's why this is so important. and why this is where the rigor comes in of generating that state as you're going through your daily life. In this state, you want to now consciously and intentionally access new levels of thinking and ideas. And you do this by working with 2 more questions. So we're asking lots of questions today. First of all, what would I love? If it all worked out, how would I feel? The woman who did this, how did that woman show up for these particular activities? Then you're activating your brilliance. In this whole process, you're activating your brilliance. And as you do that, you now have access to whole new levels of intelligence. And there's 2 questions that I want you to work with to now be able to source ideas for actions that you can take. One of them, if I really believed, and I want you to write these questions down, if I really believed my dream was possible, what is the action I would take right now? Now notice the difference in the ideas that you will receive when you ask the question, when you ask that question, compared to asking the question, oh my God, what am I going to do? I just can't get this thing going. Notice the difference in the way that you're asking the question. Notice the difference in the questions, and then notice the responses that come to you. If I really believed it was possible for me to live what I would love, if I really believed it was possible to live my dream, what would I do? What is the action step I would take? I want you to write it down. Put it in the chat and share it with me. And then I want you to put a time limit on it. What action would I take within the next 48 hours? Because you don't want to dawdle. You're receiving ideas from the universe, and the universe loves giving you ideas, but the universe wants you to act on those ideas. And so if I really believed my dream was possible, what is the action step that I would take? And then the second question that you're working with, what can I do where I am with what I have? What can I do where I am with what I have? The brilliance of that question is that as you generate state, now you have access to whole new levels and layers of possibility that you didn't have access to before. And you will see your resources in such a different way. You will see your resources in such a different way. And you'll see how they can serve you. So if I really believe my dream was possible, what would I do right now? And what can I do where I am with what I have? Rinse and repeat this process and watch you transform, and your world transforms. All right, so I got 2 minutes to share with you what I would love to help you with go further. I have a private Facebook group, Your Ultimate Life Now. Terry, come into my Facebook group because we're going to dig deeper into this. Your Ultimate Life Now. Ultimate Life Now. The link is up in the description. Join my Facebook group. Once a month, I have a free mastermind where we come in on a Zoom. We don't do it as a live. We come in on a Zoom where I pour into you. You bring your situations, and together we pour our brilliance and we mastermind on it. And you hook to my awareness, and I support you in unlocking the stuckness in order to be able to listen to the answer to the question, what would I love? Good, Terry. In order to support you in moving forward. So, February 8th, 11 o'clock Pacific time, I'm offering a free mastermind where, again, we're going to dig deep into that. Join the Facebook group and then hop on to the mastermind. We'll put the registration there for you to register. So you'll get the Zoom link, and then together, let's just pour energy onto you and get you moving to create the life that you are meant to live. Most powerful question that you could ask, what would I love? Put it in service to a life that you love. It is your highest contribution to the body of humanity. Ultimate Life Now is the Facebook group. Join me February 8th, 11 o'clock Pacific time for a free mastermind. We meet on Zoom. Let's get you going to live the life that you deserve. My name is Felicia Searcy, your Dream Life Activator. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. Your dream is my passion. I look forward to seeing you on February 8th in the Facebook group, the free mastermind for Facebook group members only. Mwah! Ultimate Life Now. God bless.